Shalom alaikum bikoli khadika halidat, and we're here with another video discussing in depth about the Antichrist from the Hebrew scriptures, okay? Something that the world has parted ways from, okay? Some people don't understand why it's important to get involved in that Hebrew study, but this is the language of our ancestors, and this is the language that the prophecies were revealed in. So it's important when we're talking about prophecy to go back to that language so that we can understand through the language what was being said, so that we can receive in this generation the transmission of ideas, okay? So that we can gain a proper understanding about the time that we live in today, okay? So we're going to look at Daniel chapter 11 and verse 32. And we're going to come into understanding a few Hebrew words today, which should shed some light on our understanding of the end times and the phenomenons, specifically the social phenomenons that have become a norm in our time. Okay, so we find in Daniel 11 and 32, let's go to the Hebrew first. I only want to focus on part of this. Okay, we'll deal with the other part at a different time, as we would need to go into the Hebrew to completely understand that as well. But let's start out with the first half of this verse, because it's very important and it's very key to understanding the phenomena that we see taking place in front of our eyes in real time. So in Daniel chapter 32, we find Bihalakut or Bahalakut Yahanif Umarshia. Okay? With flattery, he will corrupt those who violate the covenant. Bahalakut Yahanif Umarshio Berit. Okay, we know that the Berit is the covenant. It is the law that is established in the Torah. Okay, and it governs the religion of Yahweh Allah. It transcends the boundaries of denomination, and it transcends the boundary of place and time. This is the universal religion of Yahweh Allah, specifically with his covenant people. So we understand that our people are going to be playing a very important part in prophecy at the end of time. Before we jump right into that, we also understand that we've been told about the fitness of the end times. Okay? We've been told about fitnatul sarai. Okay? And for those who don't understand Shemitic language, in Arabic we find this word sarar, and literally it means what happens behind closed doors, behind the scenes, undercover. Okay? High ranking in an underhanded way, under the counter, the mystery or the secret origin, what happens stealthily and privately, covertly, clandestinely, underground. Okay? There's going to be a fitna that will be operating from behind closed doors and behind the scenes. Okay? We understand we have secret societies that play a part in our lives today. Okay? And that they are governing and operating many things that we see in our phenomenal world. And we've been told about this in the hadith. And then it says, he talks about in this particular hadith, the fitnatul akhlas. He talks about the fitnatul sarai. Okay, this word also means happiness. Okay, but it deals with that which is concealed, prosperity and abundance, and that which is what? Clandestine, secret, and hidden. Okay? And he says, "Dakanuha min taktika dama rajulin min ahl al-bayt." So we understand that the holy people of Israel are going to be playing a very important part in this fitna. And this fitna leads us all the way down to fitnatul duhaima. And fitnatul duhaima is the fitna of consummation. Okay, from that word dahima, which literally means that which has grown black or exceptionally green and leafy due to being watered or due to being maintenanced. We understand that in this day and age that we live in, we have been what? Conditioned. And this conditioning comes through the repetition of societal phenomenon. Okay? And that word dahima, once again, means that which is of dark green color by reason of intense greenness from being much watered, experiencing the process of irrigation. And we have experienced that process in our societal phenomena, not just in the West, but in the world. Okay? We have been watered with the repetition of injustice, perversion, wickedness, filth, and lawlessness. And these things have brought us to a place of consummation. Wickedness has been perfected, and it has now come in suddenly upon us in a way that we have not realized, because we understand that this social phenomenon works in a gradual way. Okay. So to crush or to come suddenly upon is also what the word dahima means. Okay. So fitnatul duhaima is the what? The fitna of consummation. And so he tells us in this last time of consummation, we are going to find that people will be hypocrites. In the morning, they'll rise up believers, and at night, they will be what? Unbelievers. What is he talking about? People are going to be wearing several different hats and putting on different faces. Okay. And he says, "Hatta yasira anasu ila fustataini," until mankind becomes a part of two different camps or groups. Okay. Fustati imanin la nifaki fihi. One group is going to be that which has faith within it and no hypocrisy. Wafustati nifakin la imana fihi. And one group will be full of hypocrisy and have no faith in it. Okay? فَإِذَا كَانَ ذَاكُمْ فَأَنْتَظِرُوا الدَّجَّالَ مِنْ يَوْمِهِ أَوْ مِنْ غَدِّهِ, until we see the manifestation of Dajjal. So this process is going to be one that will be continuous. It will take place throughout the generations, and it will consummate itself in the manifestation of the Antichrist, which is where we find ourselves positioned in history today. So we find in Sunan ibn Majah 4071, Ad-Dajjalu ma'ahu janatun wa narun, فَنَارُهُ جَانَةٌ وَجَانَتُهُ نَارٌ. With the Antichrist or the Dajjal will be paradise and hell. But his hell is paradise, and his paradise is hell. What is he talking about here? The Antichrist, through finance, is going to be able to influence our social phenomenon. He's going to mess with your resources, and he's going to cast a very powerful illusion. As we know, it says, Sekal mirma tsalak biyadehu. Okay? And through his policy, his sekal, he will cause craft and treachery and wickedness and deceit to prosper in his hand. Okay? Wagado lebab, shalwa shakatrab. And through peace and safety and through the abundance of money and finance, he will do what? He will destroy many. So we understand that what appears to be paradise, doing everything that we want and performing all types of wanton deeds, this in the Antichrist phenomenon is caused to show the illusion of success. But the scripture is telling us clearly that this so-called paradise of success and plenty is nothing more than the pathway to hellfire. And those who have etched out a path of righteousness for their feet to walk in and follow what has been required by Yahweh Allah, it will look like hell, but it will actually be the path to the paradise. And this is why we find it written in the hadith as well. يبتلى الرجل على حسب دينه فإن كان سلبا في دينه اشتاد بلاؤه وإن كان في دينه ركة هون عليه فما زال كذلك حتى يمشي على الأرض مال دامبون. So a man is afflicted in keeping his religion if he is firm in his religion. His trial is severe. But if there is weakness in his religion, it is made light for him. And it continues like that till he walks the earth inclining to sin. So this is the manufactured social phenomenon of the Antichrist, to persecute righteousness. And so this is the illusion that the world is going to be under. Just take a look around you. Wickedness is rewarded. And so we see clearly, so the shaitan is going to come to them in his disguise. He's going to come to them in his resemblance of that which is good. فَيَقُولُ أَلَا تَسْتَجِبُونَ. Will you not accept, respond, and answer me? فَيَقُولُونَ فَمَا تَمَرْنَا. And they will say, what do you command us? فَيَمَرْهُمْ. And he will tell them, بِعَبَدَةَ الْأَوْثَانِ. I want you to worship the idols and the falsehoods that I have set up. What idols are we talking about? Sex, money, and power. And so we will find that the Antichrist will use his power to administer oaths to keep people in darkness and to help those people who seek to gain power, to commit murder and to plunder and to lie and to commit all manner of wickedness and whoredoms. And then it says, Wahum fidalika, and when they do that, Darazakahum hasanu aishahum. And so when they do this, they will be able to walk into the illusion of paradise that leads to the hellfire. They will achieve a lot and be fructuous and beneficial and overflowing with happiness and excitement. They will roll in the hay, so to speak. They will stack up and be showered with bounties and gifts and the good things of this life. So this brings us full circle back to Daniel 11:32. And so he will do what? Through flattery, he will corrupt. Let's look at the word halak, which is the root of halakut. Okay? And it literally comes from the root halak, which means to divide or to share, to distribute. Okay? But it also means to flatter. So they will be what? Idolized with sweet talk and position, eulogized and receive adulation. They will receive excessive praise. They will be the exalted ones in society. This flattery is only given to them to further the interest of the Antichrist. But for the love of position and power and to be idolized and praised, this will bring about their complete soiling and their pollution. They will be turned godless. And that is what the word hanif means. All of those people who do what? Who violate the covenant, who act wickedly or do wickedly. Literally, those who are reprobated and vile and tainted and evil, shameful and immoral, morally wrong, bad, ungodly and abominable, vicious, heinous, fiendish, illicit, perverted, felonious, roguish, sacrilegious, impious, hateful, diabolic, degenerate, underhanded, and corrupt, and for the glory of this world and the wealth of it, these people will be corrupted. And we're not just talking about Hollywood stars, but even the common lay people also will fall into this trap. The scripture tells us in Daniel, Shalva Shakatrab. Through money, wealth, and security, many people will be destroyed. To be continued.